Hello, 大家好，欢迎回到外媒看中国，我是安博然. Now I'm here in the second city of our special China-Brazil 50-year relations series. I'm in the capital city, Brasília. Now what's really interesting about this city is that it's completely planned from the get-go. And as you can see, it's shaped like a plane. Here are the wings. And I'm standing right here in the center at the Brasília TV tower, which opened in 1967. Which is right in the center of the city. I'm really keen to take you guys around to have a look. Let's get started.
Brazil, the largest country in South America and the fifth largest in the entire world. 215 million people call this place home. I flew a mammoth 30 hours from my home, Shanghai, to dive into Brazil's vibrant culture and explore the milestone of 50 years of official China-Brazil relations. My journey will take me through São Paulo's bustling streets, Brasília's political heart, and Rio de Janeiro's iconic landscapes. I'm Andy Borham, a journalist from New Zealand who's called China home for the past decade. Come with me as I find out how China and Brazil are bridging distances and building a new world. Located about 1,000 kilometers away from São Paulo is Brasília, the capital city of Brazil. What makes this place so unique is that it was completely designed from scratch before the capital city was moved here from Rio de Janeiro. In fact, its design is so unique that the entire city is listed as a UNESCO World Heritage Site. With a population of 5 million, this city is the country's political center. Located here are the Presidential Palace, where President Lula works, as well as the National Congress, the Supreme Court, and all of Brazil's government ministries. Architecture is a key aspect of this city, and one of the main people behind that design was legendary architect Oscar Niemeyer, who was approached by then-President Kubitschek in 1956 with a mammoth challenge. Build me a new capital city. At the time, this area was just a barren wasteland, hundreds of kilometers from other major cities. The city was designed, constructed, and officially opened in 1960, just 4 years later. Niemeyer designed countless buildings here in Brasília.
Hey, you must be Kyle.
Hi, Andy.
Nice to meet you.
That's why I'm meeting up with Caio, a young architect who'll take me to see just 3. First up, the University of Brasília, which is not only where Caio graduated, but it's also home of his favorite piece of Niemeyer architecture.
So Kyle, whereabouts are we now?
We are in the University of Brasília, specifically in the main building of the university that was designed by Oscar Niemeyer. And if you turn it up, would be one of the biggest buildings in the world, almost 700 meters.
Oh, wow, okay.
And while they were constructing the building, the students and professors were occupying the building. So they began the construction south to north, and people were occupying while the construction happened.
Oscar Niemeyer became famous for his iconic modernist designs, particularly his use of concrete. While the design is meant to exhibit some raw and rough qualities, this building was left purposefully unfinished when Niemeyer left Brazil to live in exile in France following the military dictatorship.
While the construction happens, the dictatorship came and the random occupation, all this happened, and that's why it's unfinished, because it wasn't planned this way.
Next up is the Cathedral of Brasília, which opened on May 31, 1970.
Yes, the cathedral was the first designed building by Niemeyer here in Brasília.
Oh,
yes,
wow.
and used to be in raw concrete, but now it's white.
Visitors enter through a dark tunnel, which suddenly opens up like some kind of heavenly epiphany. I'm definitely not a religious person, but this building is absolutely impressive. Lastly, I wanted Kaio to show me a Niemeyer building he doesn't like. This building, the National Museum, was opened in 2006, the same day Niemeyer turned 99. Kaio reckons his works from that era were not so good.
If we have some trees and like a park here, for me it was okay. But we have this dry plaza, empty plaza, and with this shape pops up.
It's not good.
Yes, not
Okay.
good.
It looks like a planet.
Yes, look like a Saturn.
Saturn,
right?
yeah.
I decided to head to a local import market to find some sunglasses. There I ran into Xiao Ge, a Chinese man who's been living in Brasília for around 20 years.
那你是中国人吗？
我是中国人。
啊，厉害厉害，那我可以问你。这些
你也会讲中国话？
对对对，你听得懂吗？我中文没那么好。
你中文讲得很好哎。
真的吗？
讲得很好。
Xiao Ge, who's a big fan of President Lula and has even hugged him in real life, believes ties between China and Brazil are better than ever.
我们巴西基本上的小商品商场都是中国出的制造的，都是中国制造的。现在这个整个市场有90%都是中国制造，都是中国的产品。巴西人就是说，我们讲怎么说呢？就是他们文化、他们的礼貌啊，各方面都很好的，都对我们中国人也很好。刚来的时候，他以为我们是日本人，现在这2年都把我们当中国人去敲大拇指，都是中国人非常厉害，工商人非常厉害。文化他对我们就是说都很照顾的，对我们，他是移民国，他对每个国家都没歧视，都很好。
Next up, I headed back to the political center of the city to meet up with Ayada, a local reporter who covers relations between China and Brazil on a daily basis. She's a Brazilian native who was born right when relations between the two countries began 50 years ago.
Yes, I cover China and Brazil, but I cover too technology, big data, the fight against poverty, the governance of China. For me, it's really incredible, the structure of the administration of China. It's very different. For me, it's a chance for understand the other kind of the civilization.
What does the average Brazilian understand about China?
Oh, they don't understand about China because they use the Western rules to understand. And China is very different. The way of the think about China is different.
The idea of a multipolar world where different countries around the world have more say is extremely important for Ayada.
We are changing the world now. In this time, and for me, Brazil and China and India too, and Russia, Iran too, now in the BRICS. So BRICS for me is the most important things in geopolitics now, especially the de-dollarization. It's very important for the world, especially for the global south. Because I think we are tired for this kind of world. And again, I don't know if it's good, if it's bad. And for me, it's not important. It's happening now. And we need to understand these changes.
So hopefully with the new multipolar world, we'll just have a more fairer and understanding world where everyone takes part, including the US and the West.
Exactly, and respectful, because I am different from you. We have a different journey. I'm Brazilian, I'm Latin American, you are New Zealand. We are different, but we are the same. Yes, we have the same things. We want the same things.
So true.
Yes. So for me.
In my research on Brasília, I found out about this massive tree which has become a bit of a local legend. Back in 1960, when Brasília had just come into existence, this man, Soares, opened up the city's first newsstand and planted this tree for shade. The tree took off, and soon this ethereal doorway appeared. Ever since then, it's been called the wishing tree. Soares says he kisses it 3 times a day, and it's granted all his wishes. A 50-year marriage, a stable business, plus 9 children and 18 grandkids. Nice. Last up, I wanted to find out a bit about how Brasilia's young people view this city and their country. I met up with 19-year-old Matthias for a walk around the neighborhood where he grew up.
What are your memories like from growing up here?
Pretty good. Like I was living every day an adventure, a different adventure. And I think here, this part of the city, it's really safe.
Okay.
Like it's a very safe space for children and for everyone in general.
Despite Brazil being hugely multicultural, he told me that racism is still a big issue here.
If you're Asian, your nickname will be Jap, and that's it.
That's it.
And that's it. It's your fate.
Yeah. So how about for, people who come from Africa, or they have the same problem, like they just get called something else?
The racism was more violent.
Okay.
It was more violent.
You mean compared to Asians in Brazil?
Yeah.
Okay.
I guess for Japanese people here and for Chinese and Asians in general, it's a stereotype that you can live through. I think for black people here, it's a little bit harder. Yeah.
Brasília is definitely a cool little city and well worth a visit. Despite its short history, I think it's fair to say that this city, as the political center of Brazil and a major player in the new multipolar world, will continue sprouting from the seeds Oscar Niemeyer and others like him planted back in 1956.
Wow, I'm sure you guys will agree with me that Brasília is truly a unique and interesting city. Next time we're heading along to part 3 of this special series, Rio de Janeiro, or the locals call it Rio. I'll see you guys then. Bye-bye.